realized that I was taking so many trades on invalid support and resistance levels. And if I took all those trades out, I would actually be a profitable trader. So essentially that's what's going to be in this video, how I draw up my levels, how I look at the chart, and how I approach my support and resistance levels. And I hope that you guys can take something from this. Again, I am only a learning trader, so take this with a grain of salt. This is just how I do it, and I find that it works really well. Of course, you have to remember that although you can draw up a level correctly, does not mean you can execute correctly and be a profitable trader. And that's so important to understand. So let's get into the video. Okay, so first for the newcomers, what is support and resistance? Essentially, it's a level in which price finds support and reacts off and is likely to hold price above that. Resistance is essentially where price reacts to a level and is unable to break above it, and it's acting as resistance, and therefore price is moving away from that level. Before drawing your levels, it's always nice to remember where price is at that particular time, because you might find that one of your levels could be close to the top of a range. You may, for example, decide to not mark that level up and actually mark up the level above it where the actual ultimate high of that range is. This just helps you understand where price is and avoids taking trades off levels that may be a valid trade, but because of where price is and how price has been acting prior, you may not want to trade off that level because we've got a larger range there, and that can help you avoid a lot of losing trades. When you're marking up your levels, you always want to choose a higher time frame to what you're actually trading on, and that's so that these levels have enough reaction for you to actually catch movement off the time frame that you're actually trading. For example, I use 30-minute levels, and because of that, I'm trying to catch a move on the 5-minute chart. And that's why it's really important to understand that you need to pick higher time frame levels when you're using your support and resistance to help with this, because you want a large enough move on the actual time frame that you're entering your trades on. Now for me, when I mark up my levels, I use the Wick. And the reason I use the Wick when I mark up my levels, so when I'm saying the Wick, let's say I would use this and I would create a zone of where this Wick was, where we reacted off. The reason I like to use the Wick is this is when sellers completely lost control. Sellers were not able to hold below this level and buyers stepped in from this point. Okay, that's why I would mark this up as a level, and that's why I prefer to use the Wick. Now, some people like to use the full candle, which is here. I personally don't like that because oftentimes price will come down to the wicked area anyways, and you're just causing a larger zone for yourself. So if you do, let's say, end up taking a trade up this point, your stop is going to have to be very low down, right? Wider stop means you're going to have to move a lot more to get, 2R or whatever it is. So that's why I personally don't like using the full candle. I like to use the Wick because this is the true area that sellers completely lost control and buyers took over. Now for me, a valid level would be a level that causes a break of a 30-minute high. Let me explain what I mean by this. Now, this would be a valid level here because we've come down, we've wicked out, we've moved higher, and we've broke this 30-minute high that you see here. Now, this level would be valid. The reason being is because this level broke this low. So this would be a valid level for me, okay? Because it broke the low of this low. Once we've created this low, we've gone to the high and broke this high up here. And because of that, this is now a valid level to me. Okay, so let's say we zoom out. That would be a valid level. What else would be a valid level here would be this level here. Because this level broke this 30-minute low, which is also valid, right? This is a valid low because it made a higher high, okay? This is a valid high because it broke the low down here, okay? So that is also valid. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of overlap here and there's a lot going on. It's important to note that when you're trading, you must update your levels, okay? So let's say, this level was successful. That's good to know. But do we have now a new level? Yeah, we do. It's no longer this level. It's this level now because this is the new level. I've got caught out on this a million times because when you're trading and live trading, you like to focus on what's going on. You're trying to see your setup and you kind of forget to update the chart, and you can get caught out on this a lot and trade off invalid levels. So it's important to remember that when you are trading, just make sure that whatever and however you draw your levels is correct, and you're making sure you're updating them throughout the trading session. So just to kind of continue to draw up this chart, I would have marked up this low because, again, this low made a higher high. So because of that, it is a valid low, and so forth. So I would continue to mark it up based on that. I would also mark up this high because this high caused a break of all these lows and continued down. So it doesn't have to be on a macro level for me personally, because if I was always doing a macro level, I would have very little levels to trade off in my trading session. So I do use micro and macro levels. But when I'm considering micro and macro levels, I'm also considering where we are at in price. And what that means is, let's say, for example, this is technically a valid level here, right? Because this moved down and broke this 30-minute low up here and broke down. But if you zoom out and you kind of look, okay, well, we're in a bit of a range here. This is actually the top. What's the likelihood, right, of price to come up here and respect that level and not actually kind of respect the high of the range? That's something that I'll be careful of. It doesn't mean I won't take a trade off this level, but I will be probably more cautious on the trade to make sure it actually validates that level before taking it. And I just actually want to see for my own sake what happens when it comes up. As you can see, when it comes up to that level, it still actually breaks above. But it didn't really respect this level much at all. And I likely wouldn't have taken a trade off here simply because there was a more important macro level above that. And that's something to remember, that you've got macro highs and lows. And this is why it's important to also know like the basics in trading, because you could zoom right out and go, you know what, this is not even a macro high actually. You've got a macro high up here, right? You've got a macro low down here, right? So we've kind of got this huge movement if you're looking at macro levels, right? Now that this was a macro low that got broken because it's respected it multiple times. Again, these are all levels that I would have marked up, okay? But you have to understand the macro and the micro levels when you're looking at your levels, and just like being a bit more flexible when it comes to them. But as you can see, something I want to mention is like, this was a good level, right? This was a level that consistent, like I would have marked up. This is 30-minute. Let's say I was trading over here somewhere. This would have been a level for me. The level was respected multiple times. At some point, yes, more touch points on your levels means it's a strong level. But at some point, after being touched so many times and it not able to break the macro high above here, it could signal that we may break down to the low side. And that's something to consider when, okay, if we've touched it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this time was a 7th touch point, what's the likelihood of this level to hold, right? Because we haven't been able to get enough momentum off this level to break that macro high. So that's something that I'm always like trying to think of when I'm looking at the charts and looking at my levels. And for me, this was an important level because we held it for a lot of times. We created this high, right, on the 30-minute. We reacted nicely off it. It was a valid level because it broke the lows. So this was an important level for me to watch. So yes, I'm marking up the 30-minute micro levels, but you have to remember where the macro levels are to understand whether or not you might just want to hold off to see if the macro level responds. And also remembering that, again, you can have multiple touch points and it does make that level strong, but at some point, if it's not able to break the high from that particular level, it is likely that at some point that level may fail. Something that you might have noticed as well when I marked up this particular level was that it's not always accurate. You know, sometimes we touch it and almost break it before going. Sometimes we break it, but actually still hold it. It's important to note that you don't always get precision when it comes to levels. You have to be able to be flexible around these levels and wait to understand what price is actually doing at those levels. You don't just take a trade off a level because a level's there, right? And because, oh, it's a resistance level, I should take a trade short off that level. No, you have to understand what price does at that level. And for me as well, I've noticed that gold and oil love to fake a level on the 5-minute, but actually still hold it and hold their bodies above the level on the 30-minute. So I've noticed that in the characteristics of those tickers that they love to fake levels and love to not exactly hold to the level always. For me, what I love about using Wicks is it's not only about having my level as an area rather than a line, but I like it because it allows me to kind of visually see where is price holding here. For example, right here on this level, you could see, yeah, we broke past that level, but what happened here was we started to hold above halfway point, would show me bullish nature. Again here, like you can see, what I mean by oil is it made this low, it came down, it touched this 30-minute level here, and we reacted, which is great. So I could have possibly caught this trade here, right, to the upside, but then it came back down. It actually faked the level and still held above it. What I mean is that it's still a valid level because, yeah, it wicked it out, possibly for liquidity, but it still held the body and most of the momentum and volume above the level, right? So that's still a valid level for me. Again, as you can see here, we kind of come past this level, we retest it, but then price starts to continually hold above the 50% mark, which is here in my level, which also signals to me that it's long. And as you can see, it just gives you a bit more of an indication. What is price actually doing at that level? Is it continuously holding higher and holding on the top end of that level, whether it's resistance or support, or is it holding below? And it can kind of give you an understanding on how is the price actually reacting to this level. Is it still kind of holding lower to the level or holding above, and may indicate how it may react, right? Rather than you jumping in here because it fails the levels, you wait for confirmation to see how it actually reacts within this level. So just a quick overview on everything that I just said. Essentially, I mark my levels up on the 30-minute chart, hoping for a 5-minute move. I mark my levels on the wicks because that's where the sellers or buyers lose control. I want to see that 30-minute leg break the low or the high to show that that move from that point had a lot of strength behind it and a lot of volume behind it. I make sure to understand my tickers and their characteristics and understand that levels aren't, even when it's an area, they aren't always fixed, and I have to be flexible when it comes to price action around there. Just because it wicks out that level does not mean it's actually invalidated that level just yet. Last one is updating your levels during your session. Don't get caught out on leaving old levels there that have been used and are now invalid, and continuously use them through your session. Make sure you're updating them. That's what I would personally suggest, and what I've noticed, at least for my strategy. I hope this helped understand a little bit more in depth about my strategy and at least how I read the charts and how I do my draw up before my session. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.